Darlings, I was just about to record because otherwise people think I'm just crazy, but I just wanted to show that that was going to be the third time that I've turned on, I press record and it just disappears. And the only way to relaunch it is to turn the whole computer off, so everything I get ready. Anyway, let's start this, darlings. I'm coming to you to talk to you about Florida. I have spent many hours, 2 full days last week doing 2 videos for Patreon. So I'm coming back to bring it to you, YouTube. And as always, it becomes clearer with the time. But for me to bring up this information so much for you is a huge amount of effort and work, because it's just the amount of information that I have to bring in an hour. So we're going to do this, and we're going to begin with showing you what's going on in the sky. So off we go. Right, so let's go back to the dates of the North Carolina floods. So it was on the 26th. It was just after the last quarter moon that we had on the 24th. So on the 24th, we have got the moon right on the wand of Merlin, sitting between Mars and Jupiter. Mars in the home of Mercury, Gemini, on Sirius, the keeper of the 4 corners, and Jupiter still in the home of Venus, in Api, the bull gods. And Jupiter is about to go retrograde. He goes retrograde, is it on the 9th or the 11th? Pluto moves forward. And Jupiter goes retrograde on October the 9th, and Pluto in Capricorn will move forward. So Jupiter is in the mother, Diana, the moon goddess. The moon is exalted in Taurus, so that moon was still in Taurus on the 24th for that quarter moon, exalted with Jupiter. He's in the mother, the fertility, the 3 goddesses of the earth. We've got Virgo, where we have South Node currently. We're on the axis of coronavirus since the eclipses last year. And we are still in that axis ruled by Mercury and Jupiter. We've now got this next hurricane coming called Milton. John Milton, Lost Paradise, is JM, Jupiter, Mercury, rulers of the skull and bone, mutable cross. Everything going on now is to reorganize the new Nile line, Caroline. I said clearly in my last video, I've been talking about the French rapper singing Caroline, about the rape story going on in France, a woman that was filmed and raped by 85 men, drugged by her husband regularly for these mass orgies. And I showed you last week the interview with the daughter, and she's called Caroline. So it's the père of Carol, the father of the Nile. And I said, and on the 26th, the night of the flooding, so we're a little bit ahead here, I did a whole post about the fields of coriander, which I did a video for Patreon on 9/11, first quarter moon last month, in September, talking about this, the body of Ida, the Christ, Pisces, Mary Magdalene, Virgo, and bringing up the body of Ida, the floor of Ida. Just like the Kabbalah, the tree of life, we have got we've got the 2 pillars on each side, and we've also got the 3 sections. We've got the guts, the intestines, that's ruled by Virgo. We've got the center, the heart, and we've got the head, heaven at the top. And, you know, 9-3, the fault of the Madrid fault line was first came about because of an earthquake in 1811, which is also the feast day of Ida. So I was writing all about Ida. I was writing all about Florida on the night that this happened. So my level of, you know, psychic ability and this feeling, so it's very bringing it out and showing people. And in my work as well, I'm getting more and more powerful, but I was doing last weekend, I spent the whole weekend doing I go to study with a little old lady, she's 82, she's an alchemist, she's incredible. I've already been for Hebrew letters, for tarot and alchemy courses, and I went and did a 2-day of the Tree of Life. So I'm in the 32nd department, and the Tree of Life is the 32 paths of wisdom. So this is the moon between Mars and Jupiter. That's the top of the life, the Tree of Life. It's in French, it's called the Arbre de Sephiroth. So Jupiter and Mars, Mercury and Venus below are the hips. And this is what we've got. We've got Jupiter in the home of Venus, we've got Mars in the home of Mercury, and we've got the moon. And we have also got, so for the fall equinox, we have got Taurus and Gemini on each side of Florida. We have got the Api, the god of fertility. The god of fertility, he is right here between Florida. So Venus and Mercury, and we have Virgo and Pisces, that rule this equinox, where we've also got the South Node and the North Node. So back to looking at this. So on that 24th, 25, 26, we had the moon conjunct to Pollux. We had Venus and the Sun and Mercury getting ready for this solar eclipse that we had on the 2nd. And we've got Mars still right on top of Sirius. So what is going on? Mars is finishing a cycle. So Mars, we had at the time of the death of the Queen. So for the death of the Queen, 22, on the Virgin's birthday. So the 8th of the 9th, we've got Mars bang on Aldebaran. And now we've got Jupiter, and Jupiter is about to go retrograde, and he is also going to come onto Aldebaran. So for the Queen's death, which is the Virgin Mary's birthday, we had Jupiter right on the whale's tail, right on the splash, and we had Mars right on Aldebaran. So then we had Mars move to the tip, as Jupiter is now. That's 10-9. So that is exactly what we're about to have. 10-9. Mars was also on that peak, and then Mars was going retrograde. He went back to Aldebaran, back over Aldebaran. There was something big that happened when he moved back over, and then he started to move forward. And as he moved forward, we had in England the missing of Nikola Bully. Nikola Tesla is 369. And that Arbre de Sephiroth, I've been explaining all this in my, I just opened it all. I had to shut it all. Sephirat, because every time I wanted to try and film, it just, the camera went down, so I had to keep shutting and opening. Sephirat, arbre, Kabbalah, arbre de vie, Kabbalah. Okay, so basically, you just open it here. So there you've got Venus and Mercury, Jupiter and Mars, and Uranus, Saturn and Neptune. So that's how my teacher said it, and Pluto as the passage. So not everyone has it in the same way. So you have the Trinity at the top, the three. Everyone is now aware that Florida is the home of the lithium, and lithium is the element 3. It's this trinity, and 21, the world tarot card, 777, Virgo, the passage 2-1 is also 3. So this is the 3, the middle part is the 6, and below is 9. So you've got your 3, 6, 9, Nikola Tesla, bully, and you have to find the journey, you have to find that connection of make your way down and back up and come back to this, to get the crown, to get that consciousness, to make the journey. But you've got to get through this gap. Florida is the trigger. This is Pluto, the subconscious mind, and Pluto is in Capricorn, and Capricorn is the energy of the 3 tarot card. This is her, this is the top of that Sephirat tree. It's Saturn, it's the feminine pillar, the masculine pillar, the feminine. It's Kronos and Rhea, it's the twin peaks, it's ruled by Saturn. So this is the Hecate, the elder, this is the woman, this is not the empire, Jupiter, this is the government. The Empress corresponds to the number 3, signifying creativity, growth, expansion, embodying symphonies and harmony. In historic tradition, particularly within the Kabbalistic tree of life, the Empress is linked to the Sephira of Binah. Well, I didn't know that, and that's her, that's Binah here, the female. So this is the Trinity as the Great Mother gives form and structure to creation, further emphasizing the Empress's role as a life giver and nurturing force. So I will be taking you, so yeah, I have to open everything again because I've just opened and shut 3 times. And I've done a lot of posts and work. So I'm just opening. So this is somebody who's sharing my most recent post. So look, John Milton, Paradise Lost, Jupiter and Mercury. So everyone is now aware that lithium, the largest mining company in the world, is in North Carolina. So these are people that have shared this post, right? Blue Mountains, Virginia, Virgin, Virgo, 210 solar eclipse in Virgo, 1010 first quarter moon. That's coming up. The 17th, the full Hunter lunar eclipse. The blue color is assigned to the following stage. Blue stands in stark contrast to red and indicates a cool. Now, what is this little thing here in the middle? What is that? It's gone. I don't know what that little thing was. So you can read that. I will put it on. So, blue is the color of Mary's mantle in heaven. She's the womb in which Christ was born. Okay, so this is down. We've got Mercury, Venus, and the moon. This is the guts. This is the heart. And this is the head, heaven. You've got to get past Pluto. You've got to get through the voice, the throat. You've got to get, this is your four corners, the frame here, the sun is in the middle. Right, so the colour blue cannot be found in alchemy, but it is found in the East, where it takes the place of black and actually represents a colour of the underworld. In Egypt too, Osiris in the underworld is portrayed in black or blue. It is more a bluish-green colour that characterises not only the underworld, Osiris as the master of green, but also the water world. This world corresponds to the lower waters, so this is the new Avatar film, water world, in which the animals live as disembodied spirits. Thus blue is also the bluish-green sea that houses the spirits of the dead. The fourth stage is man, to whom no colour is assigned, so the development occurs in 4 stages. So blah blah blah, we're going to come to this, we're going to come to that, but just back to have a look at Mars. So Mars, then we came Nicola Bully, and then there were the floods for the fertility festival on the 13th when I was in New Zealand, exactly like in Florida. I was in Piha, and then so we were where all these, this is where I met in 2016. That's why I met this guy, and I wrote all about it. And this is Bess. It's Bess, the god of fertility, that I keep telling you about. This Bess, which is when you put the 2 sides, you get the 2 pillars, you get the 2 sides of your brain, your Khan, together, then you get past Rumpelstiltskin. He is the god of fertility. So when I went to New Zealand and I was in the forest, in the mist, these people are called the mist, the people of the mist. And I woke up and I wrote it all in my old blog, Victoria Cotton WordPress, in big detail. And it's funny because there was one really tall one and there were 2 smaller ones. And I was also dealing with goblins, but all this was before I understood. And it was in 2016, which is the summer solstice. So 216, and that is what's going on with this gap, it's crowning Appy on the fall equinox over Florida as the guts, as the the fertile land. So this is what I was talking about in a book that I read last year called Adam Hope, Appy, and it's the story of, we're gonna cover it, look at it again, Adam Hope book. I had a client that came to me called Adam Hope, The Enchanted Life of Adam Hope, and I just felt it was strange. He was military, and I then found this book and I went and read it. It's by Rhonda Riley. That's your Romulus and Remus, 1818, the cycle of those North Node and South Node, 18 months in a sign, in an axis, and 18 years to get around the wheel. So you've got Romulus and Remus, the wolf that feeds the underworld under the diaphragm, under the dome. And this is just a play on Appy. I've told you about the book Written in My Village, and that Abbé Pierre, the title of the book, is also the name of the most famous priest in France that has just been accused of sexual abuse, sexually abusing people. So this is Adam and Eve, and it's all set in Florida. It's all set in the waning months of World War II. Young Eve, Evelyn Rose, life is transformed when she finds what she takes to be a badly burned soldier, all but completely buried in her family's farm in North Carolina. When Evelyn rescues a stranger, it quickly becomes clear he is not a simple man. So he rises from the clay. This is the virgin. This is the clay. This is the golem. This is where we recreate a new world. you know, we've just had the pole shift. We have got, so you see all this I had open, I have to open it all again. So we have got comets. We've got comets. So for, so now I can't put the date because it's under my, yes I can. So look, for the eclipse, we had the solar eclipse on the 10-2, which is the 12. It's the tarot card, 21, 1, 2 makes the 3. We've got the absolute chemistry, alchemy of light, Mercury, sulfur and salt, the moon. We have got the Holy Three Trinity, and we've got the comet, and the comet is C. Can you see in the deep blue C? And it's called 223-2023 A3. So 2 is V and 3 is C. So we've gone from coronavirus 322 skull and bones Genesis to 223. It's the flip-flop. It's the North Pole change. It's what I've been saying. So we go from Corona and Victor, Mary Magdalene and Jesus. That's what we've got going on with Trump and Harris. And now we're going to the new masculine axis, which is Valentine and Cupid, which is what the floods when I was in New Zealand on the 13th is to open the fertility festival the 13th, 14th, 15th of February. So there's Mars. He was doing his retrogrades and then he was moving forward now. He's finishing closing for the big floods in New Zealand. We lost all our home. There was no, where I was, but on the other side of the island in the Bay of Plenty, BP, that makes the summer solstice, B2, 16P, the whole Hastings, William the Conqueror, the Battle of Hastings, they let the dams loose. What on earth did they do in North Carolina? I mean, we're in the Blue Mountains and it's flooded. It must have been massive. The same thing at night, but I mean, in PR where my daughter lived, she lost everything she had. We were out and gone with just our telephones, and we were living with her. We went off to live with her parents-in-law, where she still lives today. But Pihar had no road access. There was no road and no internet for 6 months, even more. You know, everybody lost. There's mudslides, everything. We were the only house where they actually blocked the drains, and the house was, you know, I've seen all these houses, but our house, there was nothing. Nobody would have survived. You couldn't get, the dogs were on the top of the floating table. They refused to come, and the people who came to save us, they went back for Chloe, who wouldn't leave with the dogs, and they lost their car. Their car went straight under. I was living in a van, and I had this intuition from the minute I got there that I was going to get washed away in the van. I was freaked out, locked in it every night. But yeah, we lived it, and until you live these things, you have no idea. So this is all the picnic at Hanging Rock. It's what I've been saying for years. The missing, Miranda goes, the girl in white and the girl in red survives and she comes back. The lady in red, this is Jack and Rose. We've got Jupiter in the home of Rose. This is Taurus. This is Venus. This is the most fertile mother. This is the mother. So then Mars is now about to go retrograde again. So we come back to now. And here is Mars today on Sirius, but just watch. So we're going to have a look and see for the elections. we went past. So the elections are coming up on V for Vendetta, the blowing up of the Houses of Parliament, the 5th of the 11th, and we'll get to that. We're not going to get to that now, but I did just want to have a look. So the moon will be coming right up onto the dart. Venus is going to be in full, in detriment in Scorpio, and Mercury is also going to be in, Mercury's going to be Scorpio, and this is where Mercury will be going retrograde for the rising of Notre Dame 1 month after. It's all about rising. So Harris, Notre Dame, this energy, the Magdalene, the dark side, and we're going to have Mercury and the Sun will be in Scorpio. So Mercury's already there getting ready for his retrograde, and Mars is finishing his 2.5-year cycle between retrograding in Taurus and now he enters. So he will have just entered Cancer. No, he's entering Cancer on Halloween. That's what we saw in my, he's going to enter Cancer on Halloween. Bingo, into Cancer, and then he's going to retrograde in Cancer. So he's in the home of the moon, and this is all about rising this lower. The moon rules the lower part of the Kabbalah tree. Right. So let me take you through these pictures. So we've got this guy. He shows you a 10, that's the first quarter moon coming up. He shows you a 2 for the solar eclipse. And he shows you, so there's the 2. These are the mist people. You know, this is, so the blue represents the spirits, the underworld, the people of the water, the waters, the bottom. And he shows you a 5. So in all, we've got the 17, and the 17, we have got this big eclipse. So it's always about just making this alchemy. We've got the moon at the bottom, and we've got at the top is when you merge again. The tree of life, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 moons. And there she is, the world, just like in the world tarot card, the mother. We've even got her as the goat. We've got the Romulus and Remus. So you've got the 3 parts and holding the world. Look at that. Colour blue earth in the alchemist represents the spiritual, the mystical, and the infinite. It is the colour of the sky and the sea, which symbolises the vastness of the universe and the potential for limitless exploration and growth. Throughout the novel, the character Santiago is on a spiritual journey to fulfill his personal legend, and the colour blue is often associated with his moments of insight and connection to the greater universe. Additionally, the alchemist Melchizedek wears a blue cloak, which signifies his role as a spiritual guide and teacher to Santiago. Okay, so edit post. This is just to see all the pictures. I've been telling you about Betty Blue. So we're about to have, so Bluebeard 22, Cobalt, Egyptian blue. This is about Osiris again. There we've got the blue barrel, Bluebeards, the red pill, blue pill, the 2 columns to come and merge in the middle. So we have always that. And there's also the 3 columns that way, horizontal and vertical. Notre Dame, the Blue Mountains of North Carolina, the police box, Blue Monday, the New Order, the New World Order by Blue Monday, Project Bluebeam, Madonna, Blue, Le Dauphin, the Smurfs, the Shrumps, the Avatar, the computer crash, we get the blue. And there is Sirius, the keeper of the four corners, and on the day of the flood we had Mars, and there's Bess, the god of fertility, with the moon, blue. And when you merge, what I learnt in these courses, you merge the lower, the 9 with the 3, and then 6 is in the middle. You've got your 3, 6, 9, and you found your 12th door. As I always explain, the 12 is the 3 again. So coming up, we have got, let's come back now. So we're going to have a first quarter moon on the 9th. Everyone's talking about the 9th, saying something's going to happen. The 9 and the 6, just like in Alice in Wonderland at the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, we've got that 9, which is the same as the 6 on the Mad Hatter's hat. He has the 10 and the 6. So Mars is still on top of Sirius, and we are going to have on that day Mercury right on top of Blue Star Spiker. This is her. This is that blue. This is, she's ruled by Mercury. She rules the guts and the fallopian tubes, and she is that mutable clay, fertile clay. She's not the empress, she's not the grandmother, she's not Diana, the moon goddess, the mother, she's the virgin, she's the story, she's just Eve. This is Jack and Jill. And now we've got Jack and Rose. We've got Jack and Rose, and he's on his way back to Aldebaran, which I covered in my Patreon video. We can just see quickly here. He will be back for the next fertility festival, Valentine's Day. He's back there, and Mars, same thing, is going to have retrograded back. So we're going to come back for the fertility festival. We're coming back to Mars and Jupiter exactly where they were for these floods in North Carolina. And everyone's talking about Milton coming now, and we're going to have the moon right on Regulus. Wowee. So this is what I mean. All this information, very in depth. The Patreon, I've done two-hour videos where we pull tarot cards. If you want to support and help my work, you get an enormous amount for just €5 a month. €5 in pounds is like £2, £2.50, and it will really help me. So and I am going to launch a 4th Patreon, but I'll come to it, and well, I'll talk about readings at the end, but I'm free for readings. I'm not here just to be a content creator. I'm a highly psychic, intuitive astrologer, and for me, bringing out this information is a huge effort for me. I much rather focus with a client, work with my clients, but this is my speciality. I can see everything, but seeing everything is so much work and energy. And so if you want to back me, please come and join Patreon. And I'm so grateful to those of you who are already there, and we are building up slowly. I still haven't quite got to the live bit, which I find very annoying, but I will get there. I'm going to have optic fiber coming in soon. So when the weather's funny, I have internet problems, but it depends. Yeah, when it's not so much the weather, it's Saturn retrograde and just this energy of Jupiter about to go retrograde. Sometimes have to get the right moment. So let's move on. Where am I now? That's today. Okay, so we've now got Venus. So all these floods were happening when Venus was, of course, it had to happen for Venus in Virgo in full, but we're going to have for this first quarter The 9 Jupiter starts will be stationary, so that's incredibly powerful. And then the 10-10, we've got a square with the moon right on Nunki, the elbow of D'Artagnan. And it's what I explained in my Patreon is just, let's open Patreon again. So here's my Patreon. This is Api, the god of fertility, October rundown. So this is 2 hours long. It says 1009. October rundown. So this is for everybody in the €5 tier. We cover the Api, Adam, Hope, Eve, Clay, Mud, Artificial Intelligence, Comet, Valentine, Cupid connections, Mars going retrograde in December. So at the Lupercal altar, a male goat or goats, a dog was sacrificed by another of the Luperci. So D'Artagnan, where the moon is going to be, right on D'Artagnan, the hero. This is Valentine. This is Valentine. This is V for Vendetta. We're going to have that half moon, quarter moon, right on the noon key. And D'Artagnan next to me, the village is called Lupiac, the Romulus and Remus, the wolf. So alien. Oops. When I was looking in Adam Hope, we had at Burning Man last year, we had the floods and the mud, and we had these little insects that came up. So you're going to see it all here. So Lord of the river bringing vegetation, Lord of the fish and the birds and of the marshes. That's Florida. So there was a film called Deliverance. Was that shot there? Hunger Games was shot in North Carolina. And this book that I've been talking to, and then I spoke to you just 3 videos ago about the film where the Hallgraws, this girl in the marshes in Florida. I mean, she is the Virgo girl. She is the wild girl rising from where the crawdads sing. So I knew this film, this Florida energy, this girl, these marshes. Happy is typically depicted as an androgynous figure with a prominent belly and large drooping breasts, wearing a loincloth and ceremonial false beard. So this is Bess, this is Happy, this is the Eliza, this is the Eliza, this is the Caroline line. So there's the comet. So there's my dog Happy that was sacrificed on Easter Day. And a girlfriend of mine, I gave her a reading. I saw how gruesome it was. But everyone is talking about it where I live. Her dog, she found, was held and shot in the head. She's a powerful psychic like myself. She lives here. We're a whole group of women. And it has really, really upset everybody. So when my dog died, nobody even batted an eyelid because nobody takes me seriously or gives me any recognition, or I'm used to it. It's okay. You guys, that's why I love you guys, because you know who I am and what I'm doing. But in my life, I'm just taken for a total idiot. So when my dog was held from me and induced epileptic fit, and I wasn't allowed to see him or go in, and he was tortured and killed for Easter Day when Mars was on, and now my friend is shining light on it because her dog was held, shot in the head, and we know because the body came up in the water, in the marshes. Nicola Bulli was found in the water, in the marshes. The Salle, the Seine was dirty. That's what the whole Olympics was about. So the flood deposited rich silt, fertile soil. So this is all about that. So The Enchanted Life of Adam Hope, a novel by Rhonda Riley, R.R. Romil Lupercalia Fertility Festival is 6/6. 66 years before this flood, we had another Hurricane Helen. L.N. It's the last L.N. So this is all things I've gone into. That was found at Burning Man last year. And this is the same. It's what I wrote last year about Adam Hope. So the alien Romulus. So the lie, what's lie? Lie is lithium, Lithium elements, element 3, images. So it's lie, A, lie, N. That's what I was talking. So here's the key, the 2 hands, the 10, and you've got in France, well, you're going to see, but look, H is 6, because you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at G, and then you go backwards, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you do the same thing with N to Z, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is T, so your gin and tonic, GT, and then you go backwards. So in this way of the 12, the 8, the 2 here, H is 6, and LM is 21. So Mona Lisa, we've gone from Mona Lisa to this new film with the girl from the Titanic out called Lee Martin. Lee is the eel, it's the water, that's what you have in New Zealand. You've got all the eel. Eel is eel, it's him. It's why, you know, the Himalayas, the him. Anyway, 21, the World Tarot card, Lee Martin, this is all here. So here's your whale. This is the, in French, a whale is a baleine, the ball of the N, of the North Polaris, the North Pole, North-South flip-flop. So here's Valentine's Day. This is the God who receives your worship. It's all about love, the new deception from the same old devil, Ophucius. Sexual fertility, he rules that underworld. This is the midnight, the Shakespeare's summer, a midnight summer, a Midsummer Night's Dream, Midnight Express. It's always that journey back down into the underworld to come back up through the heart. All these people that will use their heart after the floods to come back to the head. It's always an alchemical journey. So in France, the social living places, so it's where they have not harvested, but they harbor all the, you know, rising this aggressive energy all around Paris. You've got HLM. So the HLM areas are built in exactly the same. We're going to have to go to another article I did on Patreon, this one. So this is all about how this area of HLM in Paris is the same as Florida. Look at that little trigger. So 93 in France, this is the she is born in 1811, Miss Ida. The New Madrid earthquake damage was in 1811. They had the Madrid fault ley line, and it was 93 magnitude, 9.3, which is 93 is this area in Paris where they have the HLM, and the HLM is 621, the summer solstice, 666. 666 777 888. So in that film, La Haine, that I have spoken to you about for all my old videos, everything I've ever done has built up to this. La Haine is to hate, is N, it's the N, it's the entry, the race course in England at Liverpool. Liverpool is this area before Scotland, the head. The Queen died at 96. She was brought down, back to the bowels, to the guts. From 96 to 69, 9669, it's the flip-flop, it's the full moon and the 2 crescent moons, it's the triple goddesses. And he's showing you Florida. And he's showing you the last LN and the trigger for what's to come. So this is all big works that I did. This is what everybody gets on Patreon at the beginning of each month. So as it all happened at the same time, it was a lot of work, and I'd taken a weekend away to go and learn about the Tree of Life, which means it takes me a long time to catch up. So Jupiter goes retrograde on the 9th. Venus moved out of Virgo into her home Libra on the 29th. First quarter 10-10. So that this is the skull and bone cross, the state of Florida flag with Ida, which is the same as our great crossover eclipses from August the 21st. So this axis, and there's your heaven, earth. You've got a Jacob's ladder up here and here, the diaphragm, and then hell, the bottomless pit. And there are the three in the film, this film, La N. You've got the black guy, the Arab guy, and the white guy, which is just your tree of life. Again, the three religions. You've got good bacteria, bad bacteria. You've got when she's good, she's very good, and when she's bad, she's horrid. And that's why in the film Alien, the monster comes from the guts. And there's Ida. This is another Ida. She's born in 8/11, not 18/11, but interesting. Her feast day is September the 4th, so she's with the stag again. And this is another one. This is 18/11. This is Miss Ida. So the New Madrid earthquake was a 9.3 magnitude, making it the largest earthquake in American history. And this girl, Barbara O'Neill, the Nile, is 93. The Amy Winehouse girl was carried out, 93 dogs, DNA trace. There she is with Sirius, and that's exactly where Mars was, and on the day of the floods on Sirius. We've got on the front page of the newspapers on the 1st of October, 93-year-old guy run at 20 kilometers an hour, which is exactly. So this famous singer, there's Betty Blue, the film I talk about. This is Beatrice Dalle and Joey Starr, JB. Solar lunar pillars. This is your new image of the sun and the moon. It's ruled by those of the underworld. Virgo and her Jupiter king were going through the gates. Her film came out in 1986, the same year as Paris, Texas. And we're about to have the eclipse of the Hunter. He's called Hunter. And they go to Meridian Ley Line Hotel at the end. So I've been telling you about LN 3773 is the Vesica Pisces passage. It's the chalice of Alice, the Alien. So there's the 1995 French black and white film drama, written, directed. So with Vincent Cassel, so from VC, just like this woman was killed in Villers-Cotterêts, where I used to live, Villers-Cotterêts, VC, Victoria Cross. And this is what I've been showing you, the star that's all this time. And this new French president is 73 years old, and he's called MB, some famous French actor. Michel, French actor dies at 88, another one. So on October the 4th, 72 years old, Michel Blanc, another MB. What's he called? Michelle and Obama, Barack Obama, BM, MB. M is 13 and B is 2. That makes 15, the devil card. But B is also 13. It's their new MB. Instead of the Mary Magdalene, they've got MB. It's MB Games. MB Games. Okay, so then we had, so she was called Ida of Boulogne, and we had Liverpool and Boulogne playing against each other when I was writing that. So this is the famous post I did the night before. This is the famous post I did on the 26th of September at 21:57 before I had any idea. I did this whole thing on the Saint of Ida, Virgo Ida Madonna, because the stink of coriander in our fields, and now it's all rotting. And I did this big soup. I've got this. This was all done on the night. Mercury sun coming up. That was showing the eclipse to come. So LA woman through the doors, LN. And we had the film that came out, the black, white and red. So you've got red the head, black the bottom, and white the head, black the bottom and red in the middle. And so you've got her showing you the yin and the yang. Look, Florida shows you the gun and the trigger on the gun. Ida, so I did this, the world 21, and it's also the state where it's anti-abortion, and this is all about taking her fertility. There is the trigger, geranium, Ida, the 5-pointed star. This is new moon. We've just had the solar eclipse, and then we had Kylie bringing out lights, camera, action. LCA, LA woman. LA, C is 3, is lithium. LA woman with the C in the middle, and she showing you the two sides, the black and whites. But there was a little girl, the gut of Flora. So I did all this. The mob spirit has grown with the increasing intelligence of the Afro-American Ida B. Wells. Well, right in the well. Ida Craddock. The Virgo Pisces axis is one of the astrological karmic poles. Virgo is the harvest and Pisces is the cyclic final. This is what's so big. This is where we are. We're at the final. And in 2025, Chiron will then go retrograde, but he is going into Aries. We're at the end of a cycle. This is the closure of when we found Chiron in 1977. This is the axis of responsible service to the physical and spiritual realms, sickness and recovery in order to provide the remedy, healing crafts and healing arts. For the individuals who undertake the inner work produce something great to offer, while the pressure and temptation for escapism pulls others completely under. So this is where if you don't understand this realm that I live in, I only have 12/6 access on my house. I have, as you know, this is probably, and life goes in these 18-year cycles. So I've got all these eclipses happening on my North Node, conjunct to Saturn, Chiron, and my Sun. And my life has been like that. I had my son at 18, was married at 17, but I had my son at 18. I left my marital home in 2007 and got divorced in 2007, married in 85, divorced in 2007. And here I am today thinking, what do I do now? Do I fight to keep up this house, I've got nowhere else to go. I want to keep this home. But, we've gone, all of us spiritual workers, I think it's this, well, for me personally, it's got something, it's obviously, I'm at another huge shift in my life. I've come out of all, I've really healed myself. I now am a very, very strong woman on my own. I don't drink, I don't smoke, you know, I'm all Pisces. I didn't go mad. I got through, it's, you know, incredible torture and enemies and psychic, and I'm here to help other people to get through that now. And my psychic powers are incredibly strong thanks to where I live as well. I can do all this. But yeah, it's everybody has these trigger points in their life where they learn to find that holy grail. The holy grail is the two L's at the top. That holy grail makes the L on the side, to find that Jacob's ladder and to find the ability to find mind, body and spirit, to really embody the Trinity, which then gives you the dark side of the moon, the last 7, the 28 cycles. So back to the 10, which is that tree. And then you found the twin peaks. So there's Ishtar. And there is that bird. It's where you have all the clowns with the red nose. Clown is the owl. There's the eclipse, and there's the 66 roots, 66 years since 1958. 1958 was the year of the dog, and it is the age of Madonna. Madonna is born in 1958, year of the dog, Sirius. And I was saying as well that my sister-in-law was born on the day of these floods. So I'm born the 26th of March, she was born the 26th of September, and she was, you know, as she was always this energy from the very first day I met her, and she bends over with no pants on. You know, it is this Belle Tristal, it's this girl who wants to shock. It's the white and the black. It's the Virgo Pisces axis. So, and the 6-6 is that FF, flash floods, firefighters, fertility festival. So the coriander is the core of Ida, the body of Ida. You've got the body of Christ, the body of Ida, and the corridor. Corridor is the corridor, it's the middle path, it's the gap, it's that Narnia gap through the corridor. So the ovaries are the 6-6, and they are the upright horns of the cow. Mars and Venus, the free martins, the Torah. And it's all about taking your fertility. Rumpelstiltskin meets Virgo. And this is why in the marshes, the marsh people where I live, they all used to walk on sticks like the Dogon. The dog is on. You either get past off all fours, or you find this wisdom. People are all going on about this being Euthanium. It's much more than that. It's alchemical. And we're here on Earth, and they will constantly, we're at that epitome points where the consciousness is rising, and the consciousness is rising. In 2015, we had the opposite every 9 years. So 9 years ago, in 2015, we had the tail of the snake in Pisces. It's now in the tail in Pisces. We've now got the head in Pisces, and then we had the head in Virgo. So in those days, we were just a few people on the truther scene. There was no TikTok. There was no information coming out. Everybody's got this information now. We, the Pluto in Leo generation, we burnt Babylon down, as Lavette always says. We made the way, and now it's an explosion of Instagram, TikTok, people who know this knowledge. The generations underneath us, they're there. They're there. And they are going to do this work now of bringing back the equality. Maybe we're going to lose fertility, but balance is coming back. However bad it may seem, balance is coming back. It's just our generations which are, you know, stuff I used to say, I was considered completely mad. Now I'm not considered completely mad because everybody's saying the same kind of thing I'm saying. And it's happened in 9 years. 9 years ago, I was constantly being asked to go and do chat shows and do things because it was before I came back to the astrology, but I was just, on the conspiracy scene. And my way of looking at everything was intriguing to people. But now there's hundreds of people talking all about it, and astrologers, they're bringing in therapy. So, but, alchemy and astrology, to know thyself, to know thy enemy is to know thy name. And that's what Rumpelstiltskin is all about. So I did that post. It was the day before I went off to do my Kabbalah course. And there's Australia as the new land, the virgin land, and that arrow pointing down. So Hurricane Helen. So I added these two afterwards because it was just unbelievable the day after to get all that. So there's 1958. In 1958, Hurricane Helen, we had North Node in Virgo and South Node in Pisces, as in 2015. So my sister-in-law and Madonna and I, so Madonna's got a very similar chart to me with everything, a big 12, well, she's got Sun in the 12th house. But then for this floods, Hurricane Helen, we've got the North Node in Pisces. So Pluto was opposite the moon. We've got this, Pluto is the top of the Kabbalah tree and the moon is at the bottom. Where is that tree? So there, the moon and Pluto up here. So we had that perfect opposition. Oops, where am I going now? Oops, okay. Right. Okay, so basically today was really just trying to catch up with everything that I have been doing on Patreon, to say hi to my YouTube people, to say please keep me busy, please talk about me to your friends. The only way we get work is if you talk about what we do. And I've got to get through winter, and I know it's times are tough, and yeah, I've still got my promotions going. I haven't taken them off, basically because I don't know how to do it, and also because I know that everybody is financially, it's not very easy. So there's still the 20%, the 10%, I can't even remember, and a 5%. So just it's up to you. My readings, most of my readings go on between, when it's an hour reading, when I know you well and we're friends, they can go on for up to 3 hours. So that's why I keep them at 90. But if you want to come and you really will just spend 1 hour with me, then you can have a reading at 60. But just reach out to me, send me an email. So, if you're a completely new client, you've never been before, you now have the option of having a natal at 90. A full natal for a first-time client is 160. And that is, those are my longest readings. And then all other readings are at 90, but that's because all my other readings are 1 hour and a half. But if you really think that you want to come and we just, it's just a catch up, it's just a transition and tarot, then you can send me an email and say, look, I just want an hour of your time, Victoria, and I can give that to you for 60. But I keep it at 90 because, most people, we go on for a lot longer. And this is my time and energy, and I upload the videos, and I can't do more than one a month. Oh, my phone is going. I just heard myself say 1 a month. I mean, 1 a day. 1 a day. Okay, let's carry on. So this quarter moon is coming up on the 10-10, and these charts, let me show you a little bit what's going on. So the first quarter on the 10-10, so now we're going to have Jupiter retrogrades and Pluto is still retrogrades, but look at this big grand square. So we've got the moon square to the sun, we've got the sun square, so it's all on the mutable cross. So it's very, it's very mutable energy. And we've got Mercury right on top of Spica, the blue star. And then, so yeah, Saturn is still retrograde. You will have to go, you can now on Patreon, you can buy my videos for €5. I think some of the very private stuff I will make more expensive when it's somebody's Saturn returns or a reading. You may have to pay more, but for basically everything's at 5. If you just want to see. So yeah, Uranus is still on Algol and Uranus is retrograde. But let's just go to the full moon, the lunar eclipse coming up. And so 10, 11, 12, 17. So then the sun is going to be on Spica. So we've got the sun on Spica and the moon is right in the V for victory. Be right in that V for victory, and the moon will be is going to be conjunct to Chiron and Eris on the whale's tail. No, in the V for victory, not in the whale's tail. So then we've still got this big Mars is, big role in Gemini in the home of Mercury. And then we'll have Pluto moving forwards and Pluto making an opposition to Mars. Look at that. So another big square, but this time between Pluto, Moon, Sun and Mars, just Pluto in Capricorn. So this is a real attack on her fertility coming from the rulers of the mutable cross. Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini, and Jupiter rules Pisces, and Jupiter on his way back to claim the Nile, the Caroline, the new Nile, to own Florida, the guts of Ida, the floor of Ida. And there is, so the floor of Ida is at the bottom, and at the top we have the Empress, and the Empress symbolizing authority, control over the natural world. This is what Jupiter wants. And we've got Venus there. So, this is very Taurus. This is Taurus. This is, well, you could almost add the higher, this is Taurus Capricorn. And bringing up, I always say, it's bringing up the energy of Virgo in that place. And then the last quarter moon, so Hurricane Helen, the last quarter moon. Yeah, then we've got Mars will have moved into the home of Cancer already. So that is enormous. And Venus is going to be in Scorpio. So there's going to be a lot of this. It's already happening. People are angry about money. There's feelings of vengeance. The anger is going to come up, and that's going to be just before the elections. So people are saying there aren't going to be any elections. Well, this is that we're rising the revolution. They're rising this Virgo girl. They're rising the guts and Cancer Cali 69 is in the mix because Mars is moving in for this quarter moon. Mars, okay, well, on Stellarium, Mars is not into Cancer. Halloween, yeah, I said that at the beginning. We saw that. So he's not actually going to be in Cancer until Halloween. And then check out the retrogrades. So for the rising of Notre Dame, Mars is retrograde, Mercury is retrograde, Mercury is going to be retrograde and blinded, and Mars, the ruler of Scorpio, where Mercury is in Cancer. Mars is in fall in Cancer and exalted in Capricorn opposite. So, you know, and this is what I've been saying, this is really normally Moon and Venus energy. This is bringing out the most toxic energy. But it's all about fertility. It's all about this rebirth. I've got Jupiter on his way back to claim that bullseye. Uranus, when does Uranus move forwards? Uranus moves forwards January the 30th. So Uranus will still be retrograde. So Mercury, Sun conjunct Venus, conjunct Pluto, Moon and Saturn. It will happen in the day. So Moon and Saturn combust, Venus and Pluto combust, Jupiter nearly on the bullseye, Mars just gone stationary. He will be absolutely stationary for the rising of the Black Madonna. Everything is about worshipping now the pit, the bottomless pits, Mercury, Venus, the moon, and I have to learn all these names still. Moloch, Malkut, the bottom. So when you crown the Keter and Maluk, they meet each other. Then you get the 1177, you get the two coins, which give you that final leg, that passage. Okay, we're going to whiz down a few posts. So there's Lithuanium 3. I live in Asheville, NC area. This was, so NC is the 3C, and N, la NC, North Carolina, is N, the hate, the C of the 3 of the Trinity. Right, so we're just going to go quickly. Hunger Games District. The first Hunger Games movie was shot entirely in North Carolina. So, you know, this, and I haven't been to look, but that film, The Deliverance, I wonder if that wasn't, let's have a look, The Deliverance. The Deliverance film. Yeah, so when was it? Oh, images. The Deliverance film. We want the original. 2024. Well, where's the original? That's weird that I'm picking up on a... Where was The Deliverance filmed? Lee Daniels. Okay, well, I'm talking about a film, another film, The Deliverance film. Who was the guy, the same man who did Jaws? Old film. 1972. Right. It's about yeah, high up in the mountains. Here we go. This is it. And look, they're going through the eye. So 1972, what did I just see? Yeah, this man just died, Michel, at 72 years. 72 is the last leg of the five-pointed star. It's that angle, the last. So it's 3 Academy Awards from Atlanta, Adventure in Remote Northern Georgia Wilderness. Well, there we go. That's it as well. Oops. Right, so this is my friend's dog, taken, shot in the head, left in the marshes. And it's caused a lot of light. So a dog and a cat, our village cat as well, was poisoned. So when Trump says they're eating dogs and cats, it's because the eclipse, that's Rahu and Ketu, that's what they do. They eat dogs and cats. So there we've got me talking about, this is my very clever friend. Look at this, the Australian Pink Floyd show. And that is the top of your head. He's showing you, it's the Khan. So there is this comet. So I wonder, this comet, let's see, C2023 there. Okay, so where is that comet going to be over the next few days? She's going to go through, she's going through, so for the 1010, they're all together on Spica. For the 1017, he's right in the snake. He's right with Venus. He's in Scorpio. 24 for the last quarter. We've got Venus right on Antares. And then for the elections, we've got a black moon, of course. We've got, so what moon phase have we got? We're going to be on to coming up to a first, just after the new moon. There's going to be a new moon in Libra, is there? And then, let's have a look. So there's going to be a new moon on Halloween, just the day after. We've got All Saints Day. Okay. I'm getting hungry. Right, so that was me talking all about this VC, the Victoria Cross, the flip-flop of this comet. There you see, what if the 1811 New Madrid quake happened today? So that's already happening. We've looked at that. We're just rolling down, gang. Okay, that was a post from the year before. And yeah, I had posted on the equinox, I used the music canons, and I do my little reel films, and I posted the song from the group Canons, like a hurricane, she's coming, the hurricane. So that was, look, we lost her, Pongo. So this is LMML 21 tarot card, World Double Passage 777. And then I see that Kate Winslet is playing Lee Miller. And very important, the camera. It's all in this. So she had a bath in the tub. So again, it's showing you the lower. It's always going down to the water. It's the bottom of the Kabbalah tree. The black, white and red splash in the bath. Well, tarot card, Kate's L. Okay, I don't think we need to go through all that. Titans and the Olympians, always really important. Jack, okay. Brigitte Bardot, 90, she's showing us that last leg. The 90-degree BB. Okay, so that's all last week. and this is all about the, so yeah, that was just so, and then they were showing you this going to the moon and the killing of Hezbollah, Hurricane Helen. So that came out on the day after the hurricane. They're showing you families without water, hot water for 7 months. 007. 07. So I went over and over that. So here I'm showing you the trigger, the corridor, the passage through the trigger. There's your hangman. There's your 90-degree angle to come out as the spirits. They don't shoot horses, do they? It's all shot in Florida. So I've got a helicopter coming over me now. Last quarter moon chat. We do a lot of stuff on Patreon, so I would really love to have you on Patreon. Lion, Lien, Nile, Lion, Caroline, Cairo, Caro, LN 3773, N, GAP Flora of Ida. So yeah, this is just me again going on. This guy was in the newspapers. Jesus Christ flipped backwards, Antichrist, showing you the eclipse coming, and it's 4 years, so there's always this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction we had in 2020, and now they're at their first quarter separation. Hurricane Helen, so Lourdes Leon, she talking about her film Leon, she walks for Dior. Dior is the door. It's the door, and this was all during that hurricane. The doorman, port is the door, and celebrating Leon, which is Elon, it's loan. So Elon Musk is in the newspapers this morning as well. I mean, Elon is, the D'Artagnan is really coming in. So I was saying, whoa, here she comes. I posted that at 9/11. So I posted in my Patreon before I knew. So Patreon has gone now. Not sure where it went. Let's open it again. Last quarter moon and new moon solar eclipse. Whoa, here she comes. Whoa, here she comes. This is Vicky Christina, VC. And we've just been flipped to VC. The comet is 223. So Vicky Christina, Barcelona. Barcelona is BCN. The new BCN, the new Madrid's BCN line. Okay. That was about the LCA, that was that post I did. So we've caught up with all that now. This is the woman I went to do the stage with. This is her. She's like a little fairy. These are the books she's written. And she's very, very humble little lady. And she does also, all this work to bring you back into your body. So when we're learning, we always have these moments. I don't like anybody touching me or going, but this woman, she has Saturn in Taurus, and she's written a book she's very into health and the gut, and she's very anti-milk and dairy products and worship to Baal. What's that little post? PC Castor, Penelope Cruz won her first. So PC, yeah, Penelope Cruz is PC, Pollux and Castor. So that is my last YouTube, is it? Right, so we're back. So last YouTube was just before all this happened. Okay, darling, so I think that I've covered the most important things, and I've shown you a little bit this cycle of Mars. So the 2-year cycle, Mars came back to Jupiter, came back to Taurus, and now is going to retrograde again in Cancer. So the moon is exalted in Taurus, Venus rules Taurus, and the moon rules Cancer, and Mars is going to go retrograde back to Sirius. They're going to go back to where they were for the floods. Mars is going to go right back. So he will go stationary. When he goes stationary, that is going to be on Valentine. It's going to be on the fertility festival, Deadly Valentine. Boom. That is a big date, the 13th, the next Valentine coming up. That is going to really mark Valentine and Cupid from Victor and Corona, VCCV, the Skull and Bone Cross. Okay, darlings, this will go fast today on to Patreon, and then it will come to you this evening. I don't like waiting too long, because if I wait too long, I don't want to share my videos anymore. I never watch over my videos again. I don't like to look at what I've said. So I've got to post this as soon as possible, because then I won't want to post it anymore. And I love you all very much, and I look forward to you coming for readings. And please send me a line and talk to me, and I will help you decide what you want and the price for you, and let's just all help each other. I've always done so much work, Benevol, for the people who live here. I've done my whole life for free. And now I'm getting so many people coming to see me that I'm asking them for 50 euros cash, because I can't keep giving out all my energy, and I have to run my life all on my own. And I want to try and keep this house. So, darlings, I love you, and I look forward to seeing you soon. And please come and join Patreon, or come for reading, or spread my word of my work. All this would be very helpful. Thank you. Bye for now. And I love you very much. Okay, up.